And we're back. We've had our missing player show up, waiting for the bidding to commence. And we have our first bid. Donov has bid for Saxony Innovative, $6, the minimum bid. Followed by Trenin, whose in-game name is Veritas Sesquitas, I believe. He bid 5 for Rusviet Patriotic. And Jack bids on Crimea Militant. Well, that was nice and short. All right. So that puts Donov at Saxony Innovative at $1. And Trenin has Rusviet Patriotic at $0. And Jack from Your House. No. Yeah, let's see here. Jack from Your House, Crimea Militant. For $11. No. Crimea Militant would be $6. All right. So I will throw that on the screen. All right, there's the bids. They're currently in the room. There we go. Let's go ahead and spectate here. this was created as a live game. I don't know if they're going to run into any problems with that. That's not a... Hopefully we don't have any disconnect issues. I have Crimea making a very standard produce action. Let's see. So Saxony could trade. Well, no, I would probably produce and then trade. Or perhaps he'll move. Oh, he trades for metal. Okay. Oh, that's the other way to do it. Now he could produce and deploy a mech and then trade and get his first upgrade. All right, that was a great, good order. Russ doing a trade. Again, produce. Very common opening moves here. Crimea making a trade. Getting that first enlist out there. And here we're seeing the first mech being deployed. Another produce for Russ. Another produce for Crimea. So far, very standard. Saxony's moving. Oh, I thought he would trade, but okay. Oh, Encounter 17. This is brought to you by the Crimean Frontier Watch, where the wild meets the brave. This is probably number 2 is the best option. And in fact, with this scenario being penalized on coins, that middle encounter option is probably the best one to choose most of the time. Oh, he's going for number 3, getting that mech out. That helps him to minimize the number of produce actions he needs to take because mech's on that column. Taking some time to decide which mech and where to place it. I would probably do underpass personally. go. And he, in fact, unlocked the underpass mech. Excellent choice. So over to Russ. Is he going to go for a third produce in a row, or is he going to do something else, like maybe a move? Or possibly trade for 2 oil. He's going for the move. All right. Yeah, my problem with this mat is that the mech is under move, and usually you want the mech before you move. So he's somewhat constrained by that. Over to Sax. He's got that mech, which he got off of the move, so I can't actually move now. So he does a trade for some oil, and he's going to spend that oil immediately, gaining an upgrade and 3 coins. So you're going to go for bolster or move? Yep, he upgraded move and deploy. Get those cheaper mechs out there. All right, we've got our first 2 stars of the game by Russ with their worker star and objective completed. So probably one of the objectives related to having 6 tokens on the same region, probably something like that. Oh, but we have another worker star by Crimea. Sax appears to be off to a slow start, but Saxony could, with its special dominate ability, win this game simply with 6 combats. That's unlikely, but I think they're going to at least have a mech and 1 or more objectives that they complete. Let's go over to Russ. He needs his mech, but it's underneath his deploy action. So is he going to skip the deploy? Oh, he bolsters instead. Nope. What are we doing? Oh, I'm looking at the wrong mat. My apologies. Yes, he had bolster on top of his mech deploy, so that's what he did. He also got 3 coins. The patriotic mat works really well for Rusviet. I think it's my favorite combination, in fact. But on to Crimea. So they're doing a trade and enlist. And over to Sax. Probably a move. They could move their hero out to a tunnel, and their mech could carry those 2 workers to the village tunnel. Oh, nope, they're going to the mountain. Okay. So the workers will be focused entirely on producing more metal. Wonder if I can get that your turn off the screen here. Let's see if that helps. interesting. I forgot he had unlocked the third movement. Oh, this encounter is brought to you by Nordic Woolworks. Warm gear for cold journeys. Woolworks. Get your wool products here. He doesn't have any popularity to spend. So is he? Oh, he's going to go for 1 worker and 3 food. And then he'll immediately spend that food to get an immediate enlist. Probably the combat, the enlist bonus. But he could do the combat cards because those are always useful, or combat power because he's so weak right now, or maybe popularity. I don't think he needs the popularity. So probably the combat power bonus. Because the innovative mat with the bolster of building is not very conducive to gaining power. It's taking some time to think about it. He has already spent the food, so we know that's what he's doing. He's just deciding on what to pick. All right, he did go with the 2 combat power. That gave a card to Crimea. Over to Russ. He has a speed mech. Looks like he's deploying all of them to the metal. Okay, and there we have an encounter. This encounter is sponsored by Nordic Tannery Guild. Warm hides, fair prices, no questions. Two popularity, gain 4 food. That puts him at 0 popularity. That might have been a mistake on his part. All right, this encounter is sponsored by the Tesla Oversight Bureau. Power must be guided. So he gained 2 power and 2 combat cards from that encounter. Deployed his Riverwalk mech. With produce over deploy, we'll get 1 mech deployed right now for Saxony, and then probably the other one in 2 turns. Probably speed. No, I'm wrong. He deployed the Riverwalk mech. That lets him threaten Crimea's base, although he doesn't really have the power to do that right now. Resviet, I think, is realizing that he can't produce at the moment because of lack of popularity. So will he take an action to pay a coin for a popularity, or will he perhaps skip his produce action and just take the bottom row action and get 2 popularity from the one-time enlist bonus? He pays for 1 popularity. All right. Pay to trade for 2 food. Somewhat surprising that he's not buying metal, but okay. And he's enlisting. Oh, never mind. Trade is over enlist on his mat. I was looking at the wrong mat. Again. Alright, so that makes sense. Okay, he took the upgrade. And for his third, that's the order I do things in. I always do buildings last, unless I happen to be building them, which is very rare. Alright, so Saxony. We're going for a move. Oh, and a factory card. This factory card's brought to you by Tesla's Precision Metalworks. Need metal? Get Tesla Metalworks. Forged with precision, tested by mechs, approved by engineers who don't have time for breakdowns. Tesla, because your empire deserves better steel. Let's see what he picks. I think the perfect one would be paying coins to get combat power. I think that would be perfect for Saxony right now. But that might not be an option. Now he chose pay a card to get 3 resources. Alright, so that can let him avoid the produced column entirely. So what's Russ doing? Resviet is producing. Produce 3 metal. And he enlisted. I got the mech deploy bonus. So perhaps he's not planning on doing a lot more enlists. And got the combat card one-time bonus. So he's back at 0 power. Crimea doing a move. About to start ramping up his metal producing game. Speaking of producing metal, I'm sure we're going to see another produce, or possibly that factory card usage by Saxony. Yep, there's that factory card for 3 food. And then a move, probably to an encounter. Yep. This encounter is brought to you by the Rusviet Grain Combine, feeding the motherland one loaf at a time. $3 for a second recruit. He's choosing which recruit he wants. And of course it's the mech. And he gets 2 combat cards as well. Back over to Rusviet, where we are bolstering and deploying the township mech. So perhaps he can get a factory card that gives him popularity. That would be pretty helpful for him, although he's got enough that he can bolster and deploy another mech before he needs to do anything. Well, I had a produce there by Crimea. Saxony used their factory card last time. They have enough food or metal to use either one of those actions. What's he gonna do? He could go for the Northwest oil encounter. Or maybe spread out for some kind of an objective. Or he could produce that final mech. Let's think about what to do. Let's just go ahead and pull up the score. Saxony has 12, minus 4 coins for a net of 9. Oh, let's move on. So he ended up moving. Oh. All right. So we're seeing a battle and perhaps a grab for those resources. And he is able to bring 3 combat cards to play versus only 2 for Crimea. Your dogs deserve the best. Tog and Nacht guard dog gear, armor, harnesses, and treats engineered for loyal companions on the march. Saxony tested, soldier approved. Oh, Crimea won. Why didn't he pay enough power to guarantee his victory? That gave a combat star to Crimea. Oh, another factory card. This factory card brought to you by Tesla's Precision Upgrade Tools. Upgrading your mech? Don't risk cheap tools. Tesla's Precision Upgrade Kit delivers perfect calibration every time. Trusted by engineers across all factions. Upgrade with confidence. All right, and his factory card is number 3. Oh, and he lucked out. He got the pay 1 combat card, get 2 popularity. That's exactly the one I was saying that he needed to get. That's going to let him get out of this production halt. So he lucked out that that was one of the 3 cards. And Crimea, having fended off that attack successfully, probably wants to try and secure their borders, although they have 3 territories surrounding their mountain, so it's hard to secure all of those. Oh, he's going to go ahead and bolster. Risk attack. But he did get a star, so hopefully that medal remains safe. Personally, I would have done move and deploy mech first, and then got the deploy next round. That way you could go back and do move and deploy the 3rd mech. Let's see how Saxony's going to respond. Saxony moved last time. He does have his factory card. He might just get that mech and take care of that star and put himself on the board in terms of stars. Or he has Riverwalk. He could pay a card to get 3 resources, possibly 3 food, and then move his hero to the forest encounter on the far west there. While we wait, I'll go back to updating my scores. Russ is at 27 and 11 coins. Crimea is at 31 and 13 coins. So before that food was produced, Russ was in the lead at 21, Crimea second with 18, and then Sax at 7, so probably 8 now with the food. It's a little soon to be keep updating the score excessively. He just moved there. I'm surprised he didn't go for the encounter since he had the Riverwalk and speed. He didn't even need the speed for the Riverwalk. But let's see what Rusviet does. Probably bolster and deploy mech. Yes, indeed. And that's the People's Army mech. Okay, and here we have those moves. I would have moved the mech out first. That way the hero could go a step further, but that's all right. And we're deploying another mech. I bet it's a scout mech, and I bet he deploys it on the oil. Yep, that's what it was. All right, back to Saxony. So he has 3 move actions available now. As a reminder, with Underpass, he can move to any tunnel. He does not have Disarm yet, though. And his combat power is low, so he will have some trouble defeating Crimea, if that's what he wants to do. Especially with Scout available. He would be able to attack with 3 units and play 3 cards, but then he'd lose 1 and be down to 2, leaving him perhaps extra vulnerable to an attack from Resviet. So that's probably the calculation he's making right now. So he might just decide to produce and get that final mech out there. That Disarm will come in handy for his battles. That's probably the safest way to go. This moment of contemplation is brought to you by Upgrade Plus, the official improvement kit. Why settle for basic upgrades when you can get Upgrade Plus? Faster builds, smarter enlists, cleaner mechs. Trusted across the factions. From Olga's Resviet Labs to the Nordic Forges. Upgrade Plus. Improve everything. And I might as well mention the Scythe mod called Sickle. It's a free download from github.com/sickle-mod. There's an installer. It's very lightweight. It's not going to take up any extra room on your computer, really. And it creates a combat log, so you can go back and review every turn you and your opponents make. And it also is trying to improve the bots. I will be looking at the moves made that I've recorded from several combats during this tournament and putting the successful or at least the best opening moves into the bots. But right now we have a combat shaping up on the oil tunnel. Is he going to move his hero or the third mech? Because he definitely needs to bring all three. Oh, interesting. He's moving the third mech to a different tunnel. And unloading a worker. Oh, unloading workers. All right, so that he can produce next time. And then he's moving the third mech there. All right, that makes sense. And this combat is brought to you by Saxony Empire Mech Oil. Your mech deserves the best. All right, we have scout ability, random combat card lost. Saxony Empire Mech Oil keeps gears silent, joints smooth, and enemies guessing. When Gunter deploys, he trusts only one brand. So should you. Will Saxony earn his first star here? Depends on the cards. They only have one difference in power. Crimea tends to burn the lower power cards to build faster. And Saxony wins. Interesting that he only used 2 cards, but he did use 2 5s. All right, so that puts Saxony at... Let's check out these scores here. All right, so Rusviet is in the lead with 21, and here we have an encounter. Brought to you by Tesla Miniatures. Inspire the next generation of pilots. Okay, back to what I was saying. Rus is at 21, Crimea at 20, and Saxony at 14. And from that encounter, he paid $2 to gain 4 metal. That's enough for him to get his final mech. Just a simple trade for oil by Crimea. And then what is Saxony's next move? I'm thinking of produce. He's one away from that worker star, though. But he is getting that mech star. And that disarm will come in very handy. There we go. So one more produced by Saxony, and he'll have his worker star. He's also one away from an enlist star. See here. Speaking of stars, Rusviet just deployed The Riverwalk mech for the mech star. And so Crimea did a bolster and upgrade. So you got upgrades to trade and deploy. And by trade, it actually means popularity. And deploy is mechs. So he has enough metal in his base to deploy his final 2 mechs. And what's Saxony gonna do? He could attack the factory, although there's a lot of power sitting there, but he can bring enough combat cards. The problem is that Russ would just take it back over immediately afterward. He could send all of his mechs after the Rusviet hero, tunnel move, and then attack the oil. That would be a pretty simple way to go there. Yeah, and then he can pay his 3 food and get that enlist star. So yeah, probably just deciding which way to go. And since he just used 2 5-point combat cards, I don't know if he has any of those left, so he might have to move all 3 to take down Rusviet. Alright, he's going to steal that metal, denying Crimea that ability to build those last 2 mechs. Oh, and he's going to hold on to that with 2 mechs. Alright, that's going to increase the cost for Crimea. Alright, and the third move. Still contemplating. He should really go for that encounter over there. Not really sure what else he could do other than maybe spreading out his workers to another tunnel maybe. Oh, second move. He's taking the metal back to base. Hey, Yeti. Yeti's joining us. He needs to get his audio online. Alright, looks like he did that last move to his village, so he can move those workers and spread them out in a minute. I believe he's going to do his deploy, his final enlist right now, I mean.
Okay, sorry, I had to set up my mic.
Okay, you're a little quiet.
Oh, okay, I can move my mic a bit closer if that helps.
Yeah, that's better.
Awesome.
All right, and we have an objective star completed, as well as the recruit star. This could be Saxony's win here, but we do have an encounter coming up.
Yeah, it looks really good for Saxony.
Yep. All right. This encounter is sponsored by the Saxony Youth Craft League. Small hands, big imagination. Let's see here. So Russ probably wants to do the top option, I think.
Let's see. Russ Viet probably wants the building bonus, Neighbor Lakes.
Well, let's say so they have 2 pop. So they actually could pay for that bottom one. But they're maxed out on workers. So they're going to go for the structure.
Sometime soon. Yeah,
Okay.
I think that's correct.
Alrighty. And the mine, so he can easily move elsewhere. Alright, let's do a quick score update here. So Russ is at 31. Saxony's at 26. Crimea is at 16. So Russ Viet's still in the lead.
I think Russ Viet's big problem is where that 6th star is coming from. So I think Saxony gets their worker star, and then either combat or objective, but Russ Viet's very far away from the power star or the enlist star.
Yep, that is true. Yeah, Russ was hampered by an earlier action where he paid 2 popularity, but then he couldn't produce the next turn, so he had to do the buy popularity option. So
Yep, that's rough.
Yeah, something I've done more than once.
Yep, you gotta learn the hard way. I've done that as well. I think one thing that Russ Viet could have done last turn instead of, actually the last couple turns, instead of deploying the last mech or going to the moves that he did, is kick those workers on the exposed village tunnel. Because you send those home, especially without a mech, then Saxony's worker star becomes much slower, and then you have a lot more time.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, and he was at 0 popularity anyway, so why not send workers home?
Yeah.
The other thing he could be doing.
Dive him now. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say he should be spreading his workers out as well. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he could move 1 mech, yep, and then attack, and then okay, that's fine too. But then he can also attack the mechs on the tunnel, because you said that Russ Viet was ahead, so that's a perfect opportunity to send Saxony's workers home before he can spread them.
Yeah, he's ahead by 5. All right, so this encounter is brought to you by the Europa Ironmongers Guild. Tools you can trust, prices you can't beat.
I liked the Youth Workers League. Then the mech with all the workers on the factory looked like a field trip or something.
Yeah, I have one of these for each of the encounter cards. That's specific to like the artwork.
Nice.
All right. Oh, Crimea did a gain popularity. Oh, so they're going to head for tier 2 to catch up. Smart move.
Okay. Does he have an upgrade? Oh, he upgraded popularity. I see. Okay. So Rustviet has a funny opportunity. If Saxony doesn't spread out a whole bunch now, then Rustviet can attack on that mountain with the character, and whether he, I guess, especially if he can dive it, then he can seal that mountain off and then just start kicking all of Saxony's units home. And if he holds that mountain, Saxony can never escape because he would have to win a combat to get out. So that would pretty much wrap up Saxony's game.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could do it too. So also, it looks like Saxony's used up a lot of time.
Yeah, someone made the mistake of kicking this off as a live game. So we're at 37 for Russ, 30 for Sax, and 15 for Crimea.
Oh no. Well, hopefully he doesn't run out of time.
I'm going to message him in Discord because I'm not sure if he's aware of that.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like he's used over 30 minutes, so I think that's...
They started at
reasonable.
45, so yeah.
Yeah, okay. And time pressure is real.
Yeah, and that's not supposed to be for,
Yeah.
so, but...
Well, he's still got plenty of time. I mean, he could make all the moves of an entire game in 12 minutes, so...
Very true.
If I'm Saxony, I think I run up to Nordic space now, because Rustviet can't get up there.
Yeah. Yeah, they can play the spread out game, but I mean, Rustviet, like you said, they've got one combat win, sure, or two. They can win two, but then how did they get that final star? Be very disappointing if one of them disconnected.
Yeah. No way to remake the game, of course, so I don't even know what they'd do at that point.
Yeah. And this is the very last game of the phase one of the elimination, so, and it was quite a ordeal to get it scheduled. They might have time to play it again right now, but I don't know. I think they would all find that to be rather unsatisfying. But yeah, so hopefully we can get this straightened out quickly, or get a nice clean victory, I mean.
Yeah, agreed.
So Crimea was really kicked back by Sax concentrating on them. So Sax is probably calculating how to do the same to Rustviet.
Yeah, without the enlists, Rustviet does only have the 4 combat cards. It's definitely not as much as you might usually see. So it's, yeah, that could for sure happen.
Russ is probably going to avoid occupying the tunnels. Oh, here we go. He moved a single worker there? Interesting. Oh, no, there are two, but still.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going for a combat.
Almost done.
Okay. Going for that
Oh,
factory.
Sure. Yeah, it is a 3v2.
Oh, and they're
Now
using the workers to make the move from the mountain to mountain happen easily.
But if he loses this, Rusviet can, as I mentioned, seal off the. Oh!
That's
Oh,
a
wow.
nice set of... Ooh, okay. All right. Let's go ahead and skip this. Look at our...
I want to see how much power was thrown there. That's crazy.
on the combat. Let's see
It's
here.
15 to 14. Wow. That was really
Yeah.
close.
All
Must not have
right.
had any better cards.
So Saxony ended up with 48 minus 11 is, and one bid is 41. Resviet had 40 minus 17 is 31. And Crimea has 30 minus a bid of 6 and 17 coins is 15. So clear victory for Saxony. Well done, Donov. Will be advancing to round 2. He'll be facing off against... who's he going to be facing off against?
Looks like Donkey Kong and Grishus.
Oh, yes, thank you. Yep, and so with this, that's the last of phase 1. We've already had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games of phase 2 completed. There's 3 to go.
Are you going to continue to cover the games going into later in the bracket as well?
Yeah, as long as it fits my schedule.
Yeah, for sure. No, I appreciate you streaming all the games. It's been entertaining, and it's great to have coverage for them.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks for hopping on. It's always helps fill the dead air. And I didn't even notice.
I'm happy to do that in the future too.
Okay. I didn't even notice that my little player bid box was not sized correctly. I'll have to try and look at that.
I like the font, by the way. That's kind of cool font.
Huh.
But all right, yeah, I'm going to hop off. But yeah, I'll catch you later.
All right. Talk to you later.